Hey there, folks, this is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop, and I'm here to talk about the formal statement from Universal Pictures on their new installment in the Jurassic Park series, now officially titled Jurassic World Rebirth, complete with a new teal and gold logo. So, first things first, what do I think of that title? It's a little generic for my taste. It's reminding me a lot of a Resident Evil movie, just those one-word subtitles that don't really have any relevance to anything, they're just meant to sound cool. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Although, the title could have been worth it if the round JP logo was occupied by a dinosaur embryo skeleton. Wouldn't that have been cool? The title may or may not have some relevance to the storyline, but what I'm interpreting it as is Gareth Edwards and David Koepp trying to make it clear to us that they are revitalizing Jurassic World. You know, funny enough, I recall back in early 2020, before the title of Jurassic World Dominion was announced, there was this Twitter thread started by James Ronan where people were throwing around their guesses for what the movie was going to be titled, and Colin Trevorrow chimed in to say that someone guessed it. And I remember, among that thread, someone actually added in the guess of Jurassic World Rebirth. They were just off by one movie. Now, up till now, I had been curious as to what time frame this movie would be set. The early reports of characters getting trapped on an island at first made it apparent to me that this would be a midquel, which, as I've stated before, is, I think, the best direction to take the franchise in at this point. Although I began questioning this when a set photo revealed the animatronic of our first confirmed dinosaur, Parasaurolophus, a species that has appeared in every Jurassic Park movie to date, and it will do so once again here. But this Parasaurolophus is one that unmistakably has the design of the specimens we see in Dominion. This casts some doubt on the idea that this movie would be a midquel and would instead be a direct follow-up to Dominion, and such has now been confirmed. This is a direct sequel to Jurassic World Dominion. Now, along with this official announcement, we've been given two screenshots from the movie. The first sees the characters played by Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey out in the long grass, ignoring the wisdom of Ajay Sidhu. And the other sees the character played by Mahershala Ali waving a lit-up flare, which usually means T-Rex, and that's a good thing. We all know you can't have a bona fide Jurassic Park movie without T-Rex and Velociraptor. Although nothing about these two screenshots really stands out to me that much, it's very typical imagery that you expect to see from a Jurassic Park movie. Now, in Universal's official statement, the plot and casting info is rather on the detailed side for still being 10 months out from release, so let's see what we got, starting with the setting. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the ones in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Now, coming off of the disappointment of Dominion, I find that setup to be alright. Although there is some obvious backtracking involved, because the notion that the world has become inhospitable to dinosaurs, watching the ending of Dominion, I don't know, those dinosaurs seem pretty at home to me. This is clearly David Koepp being like, yeah, we all know that was stupid. The idea that the dinosaurs would merge with our ecosystems, absolutely no problem. Yeah, we're completely backtracking on that. It's unfortunate that it's still not in the way that the ending of Fallen Kingdom applied, that it would be the effects that dinosaurs have on the ecology, and rather this is the effects that the ecology has on the dinosaurs. So at this point, while it may not be addressing it in the way that I would have liked, I at least appreciate that it's addressing it in some way. Now, one of the things that has been on my mind, though, is what does this mean for most of the dinosaurs worldwide, in particular the North American dinosaurs? Like, are they all just going to die out then? Because this would include Blue or Hatchling. So, possibly are there a few up there who have managed to find some suitable habitat? I would certainly hope so, because I wouldn't want to see Blue die very unceremoniously, especially not if Owen's not there to be there as she dies. And in the case of Biosyn Valley in the Dolomite Mountains, The dinosaurs have been surviving there for at least 19 years. We know this because Biosyn had been transporting dinosaurs from Isla Sorna way back when, so that's at least 19 years beforehand. So if dinosaurs have been thriving there for that long, I don't see why they wouldn't continue on doing that at the time that Rebirth is set. As for the regions around the equator, one of the countries in that proximity is Suriname in northern South America, which is one of the locations we know is going to be in this movie. The Thailand set is what's standing in for it. And I've noticed that one of the other countries near the equator is Tanzania in Central Africa, where the remains of dozens of dinosaur species have been found, including Brachiosaurus. Now, I don't know if they're going to think this deeply, but if I was on the writing team, I would take into consideration that Dino Tracker listed a sighting of Brachiosaurus in South Africa. So Brachiosaurus could migrate north to Tanzania, not just because of the environment, but it could also be a case of genetic memory, a concept that was seen on Dino Tracker and in Dominion, the extended edition anyway. Now, as for the part of the plot that involves this drug that can be made from dinosaur DNA, this seems to be kind of a holdover from Dominion. It suggests that there are industries that are trying to continue the good causes that Biosyn was working on, because Biosyn was studying the dinosaurs' immune systems to discover their pharmaceutical benefits, although that really didn't mean anything. It was really just an excuse for Biosyn HQ to be surrounded by dinosaurs so that we can have a bunch of dinosaur chases, while in reality the whole plot revolved around giant locusts. Now, it has also been reported that these three of the most colossal creatures are from the land, sea, and air. So, what are these three dinosaurs exactly? Well, in the case of the air and sea, it has to be, I think, pretty obvious. In the case of the air, I don't see what else it could be. It must be the Quetzalcoatlus. And in the case of the sea, as far as we know, there is only one option. It has to be the Mosasaurus. Unless there was some deep blue sea-like science lab in the middle of the ocean and the creatures actually got their freedom, in which case maybe we could see something like an Elasmosaurus. But for right now, I'm going to put my money on the Mosasaurus for that one. And in terms of the land animal, the biggest that we've seen alive as of right now would be Dreadnoughtus. And if it is Dreadnoughtus, that's an easy find. Just lickety-split over to Biosyn Valley and collect DNA from a specimen there. Unless it means to say the biggest of the carnivorous dinosaurs. And there have been whispers, unconfirmed, but there have been whispers that this movie will see the return of the Spinosaurus. So this may or may not be another indicator of that. And as much flack as we've given the Spinosaurus after it killed the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3, I think the final fight in Jurassic World made up for that. So, if the teaser trailer for this movie ends with the Spinosaurus roar being heard in the distance, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be smiling. Now, the next paragraph goes into the meat of the story. Scarlett Johansson plays skilled covert operations expert Zora Bennett, contracted to lead a skilled team on a top-secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's three most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by marauding aquatic dinos, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face to face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. So now we get to the part that I'm just starting to find a little humorous. This started with Jurassic World Dominion. After a whole world of dinosaurs being built up, it decides to go back to another island. Well, okay, Biosyn Valley isn't technically an island, but it might as well have been. And now, here we are with another movie, yet another movie, and it's this insistence on continuing to go back to remote areas when we've got the whole frickin' world to play around with. Now, to be fair, I don't know exactly how much of this movie is set on the island. I just hope that we get, some scenes of dinosaurs interacting with civilization. Like maybe this civilian family who, I'm guessing they're residents of Suriname, so maybe we could see, what their lives are like living in the potential fear of dinosaurs living out in the woods. Or maybe see dinosaurs, coming into an African village, something like that. Just something new. Now, while some people have been suggesting that this island is Isla Sorna, or perhaps one of the other 5 deaths, I have to doubt it because that's on the opposite side of South America that it appears this civilian family is on, or get lost in. So, and this also is because of the Mayan or Aztec appearing ruins that have appeared on set. So I think this is a completely new island, but I do think it's pretty obvious just who is behind this sinister secret. Because another set photo has revealed a gas pump that very clearly has the InGen logo on it. It says InGen on the side of that gas pump. So whatever this secret experiment or whatever it is, I really haven't a clue. But this would have had to have been something that, one, either started like way back in the early 1990s and it was done behind John Hammond's back, or it might have started in something like 1996 and then president of InGen, Peter Ludlow, was overseeing it. I don't know, maybe they're finally adapting the DX disease from the Lost World novel, but just please don't let it be dinosaur-human hybrids or anything like that. Please don't be that crazy. And the rest of Universal's statement is all casting details. Mahershala Ali is Duncan Kincaid, Zora's most trusted team leader. Jonathan Bailey plays paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis. Dr. Loomis, huh? No other series coming to my mind from that.
Death has come to our little world, Zora.
Rupert Friend appears as Big Pharma representative Martin Krebs, and Manuel Garcia Rolfo plays Ruben Delgado, the father of the shipwrecked civilian family. No relation to the congresswoman that Claire spoke to in Fallen Kingdom, I'm sure.
Hello, Congresswoman Delgado.
The cast also includes Luna Blaze, David Iacono, and Audrina Miranda as Ruben's family, although I want to say it was mentioned elsewhere that David Iacono was playing the oldest daughter's boyfriend, as well as Philippine Velge, Bashir Sylvain, and Ed Skrine as members of Zora and Krebs' crews. I don't have much to say about this cast just yet. The only thing I have to note is that there were actors who were reportedly approached for roles, like Dev Patel, Coleman Domingo, and Tobin Bell, who are nowhere to be seen, so I guess they just turned down their roles. Now, I think the reason why they're letting us in on so many plot details right now is because they want to assure us that they're telling the truth this time, that the dinosaurs are important to the story. I mean, I remember back in 2020 when a brief plot summary for Jurassic World Dominion was leaked online, and at the time, it sounded really good to me. It's just that there were unspecified key details that made all the difference. So I think the reason they're spilling a lot of beans 10 months out is because they want us rest assured that this is indeed a dinosaur movie. And I'm getting the faintest suspicion that this movie is meant to be the start of a new trilogy. I say this because it feels like there's so much going on in this movie. I mean, at first, the plot summary feels like a safari adventure in the vein of The Lost World, and then it seems to swerve into a standard Jurassic Park 3-esque island escape. So maybe they're going to manage to secure a DNA sample from one creature per movie? I don't know, I'm just getting that vibe. If that's the case, I'm not sure it's the smartest move on Universal's part, because even though each Jurassic World movie did make over $1 billion, Dominion just crawled up to $1 billion, while its 2 immediate predecessors just flew right by that milestone. So, I think even if this movie is, in all likelihood, going to be a success, even if it makes, say, $800 million, but still, I think it would just be a little on the risky side, if that is indeed the case. So at the end of the day, I'm fine with the setting. I just hope that there's a darn good reason for going back to another island. So in order to get a better idea of how I'll feel, I'll need to see some footage first. The other thing too is just what I talked about in my last video about this movie. It's the void that Dominion has made, because Dominion acted like it brought closure to all these characters from the past movies, and I didn't feel like they got any closure at all. So it's just the fact that there's not going to be any familiar faces in this new movie, at least not that we know of as of yet. I mean, I guess with Claire, Owen, and Maisie, they're all up north in California, while the dinosaurs are roaming around the equator in places away from humans. So because because dinosaurs are not attacking humans much, I guess that is vindication for them. But still, why can't we see Dr. Henry Wu in the picture? Why isn't he trying to find solutions? Why isn't he trying to make some good come out of this world that his experimenting eventually led to? Like, I would love to see that. So again, that is the thing that's dragging down my hype for this movie, but I do feel like they're trying to make the most of what they've got after all the damage that Dominion did, so I'm going to try to take this movie for what it is and hope for the best. So what do you think of the plot summary? Does it sound good to you? Does it make you any more or less excited for the movie? Whatever it be, let me know in the comments. Man, it's funny how things changed. With the very movie before this, whenever I made a video leading up to the release of Dominion, my whole attitude was just, oh man, this movie's gonna be so awesome, there's no way it can disappoint me. And now here I am getting on camera with the attitude of, alright, here's the deal. But believe me, I would love nothing more than to show up on camera here again next July with the huge smile that I wanted to have when I reviewed Dominion. Universal, you want to win me over right away? This would be my ideal opening scene for this movie. We start with the very last of the giant locusts that has managed to evade Dr. Wu's pathogen. We see it zipping around, crawling around for 15 seconds or so, and then suddenly it gets squashed by a dinosaur foot. If that happens, I will immediately give a standing ovation. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.